And welcome back to All Sports Western New York. I'm now joined in studio by my good friend Vic Carucci, who's back in town. Unless you're not reading the Buffalo News, you're not aware of that. But Vic, when did you actually leave the newspaper the first time around?
It was 1999. I left the news to become the first columnist for NFL.com. At the time, it was considered a big, risky leap of faith move because it was the .com thing, and people were saying, you're leaving the security and sanctity.
We didn't know if this whole internet thing was going to last.
And I just thought it's the NFL brand. It might have a shot of working out, and it did. I spent 12 years there, and then after that, the Cleveland Browns called me up to become their senior editor, oversee all their editorial content, do a radio show, and now I'm back.
So I know you're not going to give us all the details, but how did this all come about? Because this is really a shock, I think, to the readers, and I was surprised.
Yeah, it was a surprise to me, to be honest with you, because I never anticipated it working out quite this way. I had actually signed a contract extension with the Browns that was effective this past July 1st. So I was intending to stay there multiple years, and I had heard right around end of July or early July, I guess it was, that Mark Gaughan, because he called me to say he was going to leave the Bills beat to go cover college sports. Just wanted a change of pace, and you respect that. And I thought really nothing of it. And then somewhere in the course of August, while the news was searching for a replacement for Mark in a staff position, they were talking to different candidates around the country. And somewhere along the line, my name came up, and we started to have a discussion, and they sort of said, "Hey, would you be interested in this?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess I would." And at that point, they were telling me, "Well, if that's the case, then I think our search is over." And I loved hearing that. It's a reminder that you can always go home, and this is where my family is. The Cleveland situation was good professionally, but tough because my wife and I were trying to manage a little bit of a bi-coastal Lake Erie relationship.
Yeah, you never sold your house here in town.
I never did. We kept a home in East Amherst, and Rhonda, my mom, our younger daughter was there. And so I did have a place in Cleveland, obviously, to call home, but Cleveland never really was home in the truest sense. It was a place where I worked, and again, people were wonderful there. The organization, the town embraced me almost 4 seasons that I was working there, and had a blast. But there's really nothing like Buffalo, nothing like Western New York, nothing like the passion for the Bills. And I had enjoyed every bit of the 17 seasons I'd covered this team, and of course through its glory years. So you got a lot of those memories to go to, and working with people like yourself. And that's the thing, Bob. I mean, coming back here, you mentioned Jerry Sullivan and Bucky Gleason and Mark Gaughan, all the people that are still, Milt Northrup, that are still with the News, who are still good friends, Mike Harrington. That's the beautiful part of this situation, is it's not like I left for about 16 years and came back and don't recognize anybody.
So the rumors that Cleveland wasn't big enough for both you and Johnny Manziel are not true.
Well, maybe there was a little truth to that.
Johnny Football and Vic Football.
I'm taller than Johnny Football.
Well,
so,
yeah, I think maybe not.
You're about right there.
I'm right at that height. All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to actually talk about the Bills, because I'm curious to see how much you've kept up with the Bills. And he's also got a brand new book that he wrote with Bill Polian. We're going to talk about that coming up next, right here on All Sports Western New York.